Great. So, thank you everybody to be here. My name is Javier Martínez. I had the honor of learning with these guys a little bit more as the moderator for this table. Thank you for Laliga. Thank you to Laliga. Thank you to Jesús for letting me having this opportunity to spend this time with you. It's a real pleasure because it's the first year, it's the first edition of, and I wrote it down because I want to say it properly, of the first project of the Original Inspiration Center by Laliga, supported by Jesús and powered by Microsoft. This means that Laliga keeps moving, keeps innovating. Jesús also is growing and supporting and adding. So it's a win-win situation for all of us, and we are really excited that we're going to have 2 roundtables. These are the first 5 finalists that here we have in this table. As you can see, some of the pictures are not that accurate, but I'll try to do my best. You decide who's more handsome than the other guy. So we have Sinfo, for which we have Juan Ramón Gulías. Jose Ramon, you see that I have to write things down. Then we have Spock with Ben Reynolds. Cynic with Paul Bojaski. We have Tukens with Fran Arechaga, right? Fan White with Simon Perryman. And Player White, right? So today is about talking of what these startups are doing, what they pitched, and why they were being chosen. A little bit to talk about innovation, disruption. You know that these are very fashionable, hype words. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody's doing this. But it's very difficult to find the right people. So I think it's really interesting what they have to say about how they are approaching the innovation, the disruption, and to really leave a landmark on whatever they do, that it could also provide new approach and new ideas to the industry. So I would say that regarding Laliga, what is the added value that you think that you can add to Laliga and therefore to the clubs? And what are the opportunities that you think that you're going to add to whatever you're doing? And what's the challenge of the media and the fan engagement in the sports industry? So let's start with what you think, guys, and you just speak freely. We don't have to go in this order, but I would like you to step in and to say what's the added value and also what the world of the startups have to give to the industry.
Maybe I can start. My company is specialized in video technologies. We have been working for several years for operators and broadcasters, providing them a lot of services for their clients. Now, our main products are based in artificial intelligence to produce events automatically. So we are applying this technology to sports, but not only sports. We are using it to concerts or any kind of events. So we think that we can give value to the La Liga and the clubs regarding to all this event production and generate new content for all the teams that belongs to these clubs.
This is great. What I would ask you is to explain what your startup is about before answering your vision on what we've already asked.
We're sharing microphones. Hi, I'm Ben from Spork. So quick elevator pitch, then I'll answer the question. We are a virtual commentary studio. So the chances are, if you've ever watched any rugby, badminton, table tennis, triathlon, anything else on TV or online, chances are that it's been our software delivering the commentary that you've listened to on that coverage. So we help sports leagues by having commentators sitting anywhere in the world commentating a live event. every month we're doing thousands of live events for millions of sports fans in every country. Look, I think media and fan engagement is topic of the month at the moment. We all know with the growth of mobile, the growth of apps like TikTok and Instagram, and everybody's getting into like content is the new king. And the last remaining piece of content that is the most valuable is live sport. We know that rights holders spend so much money acquiring and hanging on to these live sports rights, and it's the last thing that you can't see on YouTube for free, right? Because it is premium content that's taking place with the emotion and the passion. So we're really excited to be chatting with Laliga, excited to explore some opportunities there to support them with their international broadcast coverage. But for now, I'll hand it across because I know we've got a lot of questions to get through and only a few amount of time.
Hi everyone, I'm from Scenic, and we're also in love with fan engagement. And what we're most known for and praised is our Watch Together software. What is Watch Together? It's like Skyping or FaceTiming with your friends whilst you watch sports together and you can't be together. So that's what we provide to telcos, broadcasters, and even OTT vendors.
Yeah. So I'm Frank. I'm from Token. I'm not Tony. I'm his partner. I wish I could play football like he did in the past. He's a former professional player. So basically, what we do is we build from ground up a new social network based on blockchain, and the added value of that is increasing the engagement by empowering football players and clubs to not post vanity on social media, but also creating value and giving that value away to their fans. On the other side, with a platform, so we're a two-sided platform. On the other side, fans will receive that value from their football players, and at some point they can just keep it as a treasury or just exchange it on a marketplace. So basically, we are a new social media based on value based on blockchain.
Hi everyone, I'm the founder of FanWide. We're building the world's largest sports fan club network, Peñas. So what we realize is that sports is a global business. They have fans all around the world, and we're helping Laliga connect with them. We're trying to build communities for fans of every sports team in every city, so people can get together with other local fans, watch their favorite teams play. Now, we've already promoted over 1 million events just in the United States. We're expanding worldwide, and we're really all about helping people get connected. We help them find a local watch party, help them find other local fans. They go to a bar, hang out, watch the game, have a great time with each other. But we also help generate revenue for these brands as well, because these fan clubs already exist. We're building both services as well as a digital platform to bring them together. We allow sponsors to come to our events and connect with those sports fans. And perhaps most importantly, we collect data from these events. We understand the location of millions of fans around the world, their consumer habits, what they like, what they dislike. We understand how many people are now at bars watching games all around the world. We track tens of millions of people every year that were previously unaccounted for. And we share all of this data back with the teams and leagues so that they get better understanding of their customers. Now, we're excited to be part of this program. We think there's a great opportunity to help Laliga build their brand throughout the world, and fans are always looking for a new place to watch the game. Now, being from America, one of the biggest trends that we're seeing are people are getting rid of their traditional cable subscriptions. People are going out to bars to watch the games. So this is a fastly growing marketplace. We're trying to be that technology platform that captures that helps the leagues, the federations, and clubs from around the world engage their fans wherever they live or wherever they travel.
Fantastic, very interesting. Thank you so much, guys. Do you want to? No. Okay. So I have a basic script, but I always like to play out of the guidelines. So it's funnier for an Atletico fan like myself to be against the flow. So, guys, one of the great challenge, and we would like to hear from you. What are your main challenges to keep this disruptive innovation, on a continuing basis, in an organic base? Because everybody can have an idea, can have a good, scratch, move it, but then it dies in a very short term. So what what is your vision on how to keep this innovation moving forward in an organic way, and also to reconvert itself? Maybe you start with this startup just by streaming something, and then you are in 2 years' time you're creating tokens for whatever. But this kind of evolution is non-stop. So what's your vision on how to create that organic, disrupted world, keep moving forward?
I think the challenge is, innovation without a business model is just a hallucination, right? So the challenge that I think some startups face is, okay, you have something very innovative. How do you make it a business, right? We all can't just have our clients have costs for nothing. Whether it increases engagement, but in the end of it, we all have to make money out of it, and that's one challenge: how to make it a business model, from innovation to business model.
Yes, you have to adapt to the technology, the changes of the user behavior, so that you always be alert of what they enjoy really with it, using this technology, and generate new products with value for the fans and for the sponsors.
So I think similar to Paul, it's having an element of pragmatism about innovation. I mean, there's so much hype out there about how, hey, look, you've got to look for the next disruptive technology, but I'm a big believer in Clayton Christensen's sort of theory on innovation, which is, hey, 3 types of innovation: disruptive, sustaining, and revolutionary. And actually, sustaining innovation can be a really good positive force for good. And what that is let's not go and totally change the game. Let's make incremental improvements to process, to product, make the ship move quicker and in the right direction, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. So in Laliga's case, it's saying, well, hey, broadcast rights are our biggest income source. We don't want to go and totally disrupt how we're doing our broadcast rights distribution, because suddenly we lose half our revenue. And so instead it's saying, what sustaining innovations can we find to help us extract more money out of those broadcast rights? So yeah, that's sort of my take on things, and certainly exciting times in the sports media industry.
I fully agree with him. It's a classic book. It's The Innovator Dilemma. And basically you split innovation in, I would say 2, not 3, sustainable and disruptive. Disruptive has no business model, I'm sorry. So you have to look for it. So we're approaching a sustainable innovation pattern, and then on top of that, we are bringing value on that. So as long as there's value, there's money flowing in, whether it's from your partners, from your customers. So that's basically the approach. The innovator dilemma, and we're going for sustainable innovation.
For me, I try to address a problem that I had every day. I was working for Microsoft. I was traveling the world. Every city that I went to, I was trying to find a place where I could go watch my team. It was a practical problem, and I realized I wasn't alone. I realized there were billions of people around the world who supported teams in other cities that they didn't live in. And there was no one that had a way to organize this. Now, on the flip side of that, there's been amazing revolutions in technology over the last decade. Things like cloud computing, big data, artificial intelligence, which has enabled things to move faster. Companies can build faster. They're not building the same core infrastructure. That exists. We can now connect to it. So I think from my perspective, there was a combination of trying to solve real-world problems that I'm passionate about, and then taking advantage of the latest and greatest technology that has been out there, that's been provided to us. And I think right now, anybody that's interested in building companies, building innovation, it's much easier to do than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 2 years ago, just because technology is so complementary. Things are being built on top of each other, growing faster. So now's really one of the best times that you can innovate. And to the point earlier, sports is still one of the areas that there's constant growth, constant passion. It's a change in ecosystem because it's one of the few things that's still alive. People always want to see in real time. So we've been given the opportunity to make it even better for the billions of fans around the world.
Fantastic. Very interesting insights, especially coming from your side. I've been in the industry for around 6 years, and prior to that, I worked on the entertainment industry, and I'm a sort of witness of this revolution that's happened in the past years, which is crazy for an old guy like myself. So I try to catch up, but It's not easy. But I see you guys now working from a club perspective. What La Liga is been doing, it's amazing. When I started working in this industry, by far there were other leagues that were far more sophisticated, and the commitment of La Liga on innovation, and especially on the digital world, has been amazing, and the growth has been exponential. So I think that, guys, you're running a Ferrari. You're in the Ferrari team with La Liga. So I think that together with Jesús, what they are doing in dynamizing this innovation as a whole is fantastic. Going back to the clubs or entities, what I would like you to ask, what are the main challenges that you find, in order to succeed when sending? Because most of the clubs, organizations, we are talking about value and return. Value is very nice, but investors want money. So what are the main winning cards that you have in order to succeed when pitching and when presenting to organizations?
I can jump in on that first. So for us, we're all about engaging remote fans. What we found is generally sports clubs understand their season ticket holders. They maybe understand fans in their local city, but it's tough for them to create meaningful connections with fans throughout the rest of the country, the continent, or even the world. So what we asked is, how do we go and provide a meaningful connection for fans that might live halfway across the world? How do they get better connected? How do they love their team more? How do you engage their sponsors with those same fans? How do you help sell more merchandise, generate more revenue from them? So we really listened to the feedback that we got when we started collaborating with La Liga to understand what these core problems was. And that's how we really try to evolve the business. And I think all entrepreneurs, really have to understand that. Listen to not just what they want to do, but really listen to their customers, understand the needs, and try to solve real-world problems. In our case, it's how to go and connect with all those remote fans.
Yeah, in our case, we were asking the La Liga teams, what is the pain that you're facing, right? We cannot openly talk here, but that's what we were finding out. What are your objectives? How do you measure success? Is success monetary? Is it community building? And then we apply our solution to that. And I think we add value also in fan engagement for the OTT world. La Liga's gone on an OTT journey, and we can add value to keep communities together when they're watching around the world. And I think now entering 5G as well, everyone's trying to figure out how we'll make money out of 5G. La Liga has telco partners, so we will definitely bring value in the 5G world as well.
I want to try to keep it simple. I still see kids just running behind their football players asking for an autograph. Okay, so now instead of giving paper away, giving an asset which can be as nice, good looking as in a paper, and then so that's gonna be still the local experience of analog, not digital, of requiring someone that you love, that you admire, to get an autograph from him. Now, so it's going to be there. Now, by this asset to be digital, then you just can't put it in a global world. So, being local and being global at the same time, I think, is what you bring in. You're offering to the clubs. Transform, digitalize your social media experience and put it in a global network where, I don't know, I used to be a fan of Butragueño. I'm an old man. I'm a 47-year-old man. So if that autograph that I have from Butragueño, I'm sure, and you can see the Real Madrid there. Okay, so share it with a Chinese fan of Real Madrid today. That'll be an amazing experience for the Real Madrid, for the kid, and for the Chinese.
Well, nobody's perfect,
No worries.
So, I mean, in European football, clubs are the lifeblood of the entire industry, right? And I think what La Liga's realized is strong clubs mean a strong La Liga. And so it's been really interesting sort of learning more about the league as we've been spending a few days with them last week, about all the activities they're doing to help advance the clubs. And it's not necessarily giving all the attention to the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids, because look, they've got big enough teams, they've got the money, they know they can look after themselves to an extent, but it's supporting the smaller clubs, the Getafes, the Zaragozas, getting them the resources that they need to be successful clubs and grow their community base and grow their resources. So it was really interesting just learning about the sort of shared internal resources that La Liga has, that it provides out to all of the clubs to help grow them, because at the end of the day, successful clubs means successful La Liga, which means successful European football.
I think that for the top leagues and competitions, the quality of the content that are being generated are very, very good and attractive for fans and for sponsors. But this is only a bit piece of all the sports activities that every day are happening. So I think that the idea of the La Liga to have a OTT platform to centralize all the sport activity and, for example, our technology to produce all that events, matches that are happening in all the clubs in under first and second divisions, I think that is the future, the best challenge that we can go with La Liga to get a good future in the sport industry.
You know, this is really exciting because we're talking about fans, we're talking about IP, we're talking about, you know, technology, blockchain, which is the magic word, the holy grail. What would be in your, just with a very simple concept, the key to scalability? Because if you don't scale, it's very hard in order to have that organic growth as a startup. So, in your opinion, as you suffer it, I'm not walking in your shoes so far, what's your opinion about scalability? Because if you don't scale, it's really hard.
Yes, we have to have a solution simple that have be possible to be achieved for every team, every sport, so that we can package a good content quality that is interesting for all the fans, for all the people, so that they can give visibility to his sport and his teams.
Scalability also has to be affordable. You know, as I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest revolutions we've seen in the last decade has been cloud computing. Basically, you don't need to build your own data center anymore. You can go and put your technology that someone else runs. You pay for only what you use. And it can also run in every single country around the world.
You say you work for Microsoft, right?
I did for 8 years. I helped build Microsoft Azure, yes.
Okay, yeah.
So one of the great things about that, right, when you have regulations such as the GDPR, you can go and set up all of your European operations in a European data center, set up your US operations in the US. So cloud computing, in my opinion, has been one of the biggest revolutions that's really helped enable that. And then you have all of the data and analytics that's come from that, and the AI, the processing, which can happen at massive scale. You no longer have to build it yourself. You no longer have to pay for it, operate it yourself. So in my opinion, that's been one of the most revolutionary things that's really changed the whole world.
My answer is totally different. It's partnerships.
Good.
Partnerships.
We're here for that,
yeah.
to listen to you guys.
Yeah, because scalability we know. So partnerships, and that's why La Liga has gone out and found us. And we've all been through 3, 4, 5 years of failures, errors, just keep trying. Now we're sitting up here after 3, 4 years of, and getting to what we're now, going to work together on. So I would say for both sides to scale, it's partnerships.
In our case, we are a platform, social network platform, and platforms only scale based on what is called the network effect. The more you have, the more you grow, and so on. So the hardest phase is at the beginning, and then, as I said before, you need to, whether you do it yourself with money, a lot of money, or you partner with someone like La Liga. So, but that wouldn't be enough. You need to partner. And then, but you need as a platform, you need the network effect. The more you have, the more autographs, the more soccer players you have there building their own content, and the more fans you have on the other side. And then the network phase should come. Otherwise, no partnership will give you that scale up.
So I'm going to take this question just in a slightly different direction around scalability. And look, there's give or take 8 billion people in the world. I haven't counted recently, but somewhere around 8 billion. And less than half of them today have internet access, regular 3G or 4G internet access, right? And so you look at something like Laliga, they're already producing social media content in 15 different languages. Things as diverse as Hindi and Bahasa Indonesia, and using it to grow into these new markets. So you think about the next 20, 30, 50 years, I know we talked about 5G before, like the scalability and where the world is going is just so much more exciting, and it's all new market growth that's coming online. So yeah, it's all about internationalization, it's all about being able to deal with 8 billion people logging in and using your app or watching your live broadcast and how you go about handling that. But couldn't be more exciting time to be one of the top sports properties in the world, growing in new markets.
It's really, I'm really passionate about people, because in the end, startup is not what the startup can do, it's who is running that startup. And you might agree this, because you can have all the technology ideas or whatever, but if the team is not solid enough, then you're dead, all right? So it's amazing because I just asked one question on scalability. So you have the cloud, you have the network, you have the sponsorship, the partnerships. So you have 5 different, approaches, which is enriching for all of us. So thank you so much. This is what I wanted to create, You have 5 different approaches to the same concept. This is the richness of this discussion. So just to round up, I would like you to share with us about your experience working on this process with the original. In this, we've been to many. Well, I've been to many startup competitions. I'm sure that you've been to many of them too. What would be your main takeaways of this process? Why Laliga's process is different?
Sure, it's the power of the people and the network they have. I mean, we've been so impressed, not just by Laliga, but also the GSIC, the team at Microsoft, and the connections, the network they have, and the ability that they have to just get to the heart of, here's the opportunity, here's the problems we may see with your solution at the moment, here's the opportunities we see, can we tweak this style, do a little bit more of this, do a little bit less of that, and hey, we've just solved one of our biggest problems with international broadcast. So just the people and the minds that Laliga has is incredible, and look, we're so lucky and blessed to have been a part of the program so far, and we see how it goes from here.
I agree. All the work from the Global Sport Innovation Center as an enabler to talk with all the departments from Laliga is great for us. The possibility to be here now, when we submitted the project some months ago, I don't thought that today I was going to be in the World Football Summit in a round table and presenting to all the clubs our projects. So it's the network of people that is working is the best in this process.
I think Ramiro was sending emails at 3 a.m. last night, so it shows you how hard they work, right?
But Ramiro is Mexican, so he hasn't changed his time zone.
For me, for our team, was arriving and talking to really smart data scientists at Laliga, right? And looking how they see it as a data company, it was a big pleasant surprise. Seeing how they're managing the single sign-on, and then also finding out that they really care about cycling. They care about the other sports as well, and they want to grow those too. Finding out they're being very clear on their objectives. And the last thing that I loved, it wasn't vanilla talk. We really got down to business. How do we make this happen? How do we overcome some challenges? So I love the no vanilla talk. It was just with each team, product, legal, data science, sports teams, digital media. It was just get down to business. Let's get this done. So pleasantly surprised very nice.
But you got the croissants, right?
Yeah.
Because it would never allow that, you know, not to have croissants.
I think one of the best things is, as a startup, you know, we're about 10 people. Being able to work with billion-dollar enterprises is really rewarding. You know, going through the process, we work with some other teams and leagues around the world. It takes years sometimes to get contracts done. It takes a lot of work, and for small companies like all of us up here, having that opportunity to work with this, you know, mega billion-dollar business with billions of fans is an amazing opportunity. We learn a lot. It's going to make us stronger, make our business stronger, so we're all extremely appreciative of the opportunity. Thank you.
It's been all said. I mean, having the chance of meeting people from Laliga, different departments and so on, and, you know, getting hands-on on how to do things, that's what we really appreciate.
Fabulous. Well, I don't know if we have any questions in the room, if you want to ask them anything specific. Okay, so thank you so much. It's really interesting what you've said, what you shared with us, and thank you, Laliga, for having us. Thank you, Jessic. It's an honor. Minerva, and it is as the face, but there's a lot of people working very, very hard to make this happen. And it's really rewarding. I'm an ambassador for Jessic, and I feel really honored, and it's very rewarding to guys to hear you saying these things. So I think that these guys are already winners. They are not finalists, so a round big of applause for them so that we can. So anything, final words before dying? Okay, off we go. Thank you, guys.
Thank
we
you.
have
Thank you.
the
Appreciate your
second,
time.
the
Cheers.
second round right now.
Yeah, please stay for the second round, everyone. We got 5 more awesome companies.